Chapter 6. Good and Bad News. During all this time, I continued loving Dora more and more. I knew that Steerforth was an evil man, but the more evil there was in this world, the more I appreciated lovely Dora. Although Steerforth caused much suffering to Ham, Daniel, and Peggotty, I couldn't hate him. Then something exciting happened. Mr. Spenlow invited me to a picnic to celebrate Dora's birthday. I wanted to look my best, so I bought expensive new clothes and boots for this occasion. On the day of the picnic, I got up early and went to the market to buy fresh flowers for Dora. I got to the picnic before noon and saw Dora, who looked splendid in her sky blue dress and white hat.
"Hello, Mr. Copperfield,"
she said cheerfully.
"You'll be glad to know that horrible Miss Murdstone isn't here. She'll be away for at least 3 weeks.
"Hello, Miss Spenlow," I said. "It's delightful to see you again. These flowers are for you." There were a lot of other young men at the picnic, and most of them knew Dora and talked to her. This made me quite jealous, because they took Dora away from me. There were plenty of good things to eat at the birthday picnic, and towards the end of the afternoon, Dora's best friend, Julia Mills, spoke to me privately.
"Mr. Copperfield, Dora is going to stay with me next week. Please come and visit her at my house in London."
"How can I ever thank you, Miss Mills?" I said excitedly. "You're a true friend to Miss Spenlow and to me." Dora wanted to see me. I was extremely happy, and I soon visited her. She was happy to see me, and we were soon sitting on the sofa together, holding hands. I told her that I loved her more than anything or anyone, and she loved me too. We became secretly engaged, but we didn't tell anyone. It was our secret. I often visited her and sent her secret love letters. She wrote to me too, and called me Darling Dodie. This was a wonderful time of my life. One day, Aunt Betsy and Mr. Dick came to see me. They were carrying suitcases and my aunt's cat.
"I have bad news, David,"
said my aunt seriously.
"I don't have any more money. I'm poor. During my life, I've always saved money, and Mr. Wickfield helped me to invest it in the right companies. But recently he wasn't doing a good job, so I decided to invest my money by myself. What a mistake. I lost it all, and now I have nothing."
I was shocked to hear this. "How terrible," I said. "What can I do to help you and Mr. Dick?"
"Can we live here with you for some time?"
asked Aunt Betsy. "Yes, of course," I said happily. "It'll be a pleasure to have you here." I was extremely sorry for my aunt and Mr. Dick, so I decided to work hard to make more money. I needed another job, and with Agnes's help, I became a secretary for Dr. Strong, my old teacher, who now lived in London. I wrote reports for the newspapers about Parliament, and I continued to study and work with Mr. Spenlow. I was busy, but I found the time to see my lovely Dora. I knew I had to tell Dora about what was happening. One evening, while she was visiting with her friend Julia, I asked her, "Dora, my dear, can you love a beggar?" Dora looked at me with her beautiful innocent eyes and replied,
"What do you mean, David?"
"Oh, Dora, my aunt lost all her money and I must look after her now. I've already found another job to earn more money. I'm certainly not afraid of hard work."
"What are you talking about, David? I don't understand these things."
She was frightened and started crying on my shoulder. My dear Dora, don't worry, I said, holding her hand. I'll always love you and look after you. I'll work hard to buy our bread. After all, we don't need much because we have each other.
Oh, David, I love you and I want to marry you. But please, don't frighten me again,
she said.
Don't talk about hard work and bread. I've never worked in my life. I've always had servants. I'm not a strong person. I'm weak and not practical. I'm just a silly girl.
Now I realized that Dora was born into a rich family and couldn't understand the problem of the poor. After many months, Mr. Spenlow called me to his office, and I was surprised to see Miss Murdstone there. She opened her handbag and showed me all my love letters to Dora.
I found these letters and showed them to Mr. Spenlow,
she said with an unfriendly smile. Mr. Spenlow was very angry, and his face was red.
I'm very disappointed in you, David.
I was extremely embarrassed and said, Mr. Spenlow, I can explain everything.
No, David,
he cried.
You must never see my daughter again. Do you understand?
But Mr. Spenlow, we love each other and we're engaged.
Forget Dora,
he shouted.
She will marry a rich gentleman, not a poor student like you.
I went back to my desk and I felt terrible. When I returned to Mr. Spenlow's office the next morning, all the clerks were standing at the door.
Have you heard, David?
They asked me. No, I replied. What happened?
Mr. Spenlow had a heart attack and died last night.
I was shocked to hear this. I later learnt that Mr. Spenlow had many debts. Poor Dora was extremely upset and went to live with her 2 aunts. Now she and I were both poor, and we couldn't see each other anymore.